Hey guys, what's up? It's Danny. Today I am here in the park with the Canon M50 and the Canon G7X Mark II. We're going to be putting both of these cameras head to head in different categories to see which one you should buy. Before we start comparing these cameras head to head, let's just take a look at some basic specifications. The Canon M50 was one of Canon's first mirrorless cameras. It weighs about 17 ounces, but it does have a pretty light feel to it compared to a standard DSLR. A huge benefit about a mirrorless camera compared to a point and shoot is that you could actually switch to the kit lens. This comes with a standard 15 to 45, but for vlogging, I like to use a wider angle, which is why I also have an 11 to 22. The Canon M50 is able to shoot at 23.9, 30, and 60 frames per second at 1080p, and it's also able to film at 23.9 frames per second at 4K, but the 4K is heavily cropped. What that means is that it will heavily crop your image, and on top of that, I believe that when you film in 4K with the M50, it does not have good autofocus or any autofocus at all. Something that gets asked a lot is that even though the 4K is cropped, can you still film in 4K with this camera? Yes, you can, but I do think that there are better options out there like Sony 4K cameras. Now, me personally, I never shoot in 4K because it takes up too much memory on my computer and it takes forever to render when I'm editing, so I always use 1080p, and the 80p is just amazing. Something that I really like about this camera is its flip out screen. You flip it out, it flips all over the place. It's just really good for when you're vlogging and doing basic videos. It also does have an external mic jack, which means you could put an external mic on it, which means you do get better audio. Now, something to know is that the external mic jack kind of interferes with the screen, so just watch out with that. In terms of stabilization, the camera has digital stabilization, which has been perfect for me so far. Currently, a brand new Canon M50 retails for about $500, but you can also find cheaper options refurbished and used. Now, the next camera that we have is the Canon G7X Mark II, which is one of the main go-to vlogging cameras all over YouTube. This thing is just super compact. It fits anywhere. You can put it in your pocket, store it in your bag really easily. And even though they do have a Canon G7X Mark III, I've heard that with the Canon G7X Mark II, you just get a better bang for your buck. Unlike the Canon M50, the Canon G7X Mark II does not have 4K, but it still films at 30 and 60 frames per second at 1080p. Since it is a vlogging point and shoot, the screen goes up, but it also swivels to different angles, which is really convenient for when you're trying to get cinematic shots. Same to the Canon M50, it has a touchscreen display, which can be really beneficial when switching settings, but sometimes it could be a burden because you're filming and then you touch something by accident and it becomes a mess. Even though it does have a built-in mic, something that this camera lacks is an external mic jack, which means that you cannot use an external microphone, which is why I decided to eventually buy a Canon M50, which does have the external mic jack. This camera costs $500, which is the same price as the Canon M50, which is why I want to put these head to head to see which one you should really buy. So now that you know the basics about these cameras, let's compare them when you're doing a sit-down video. So this is exactly what a sit-down video is. I have the Canon G7X Mark II here on my right, and then on the left with the Rode external mic, I have the Canon M50. A sit-down video is exactly what it sounds like. It's a video like this where you're sitting down, giving advice, talking about something, maybe doing a tutorial, reviewing makeup, whatever, but you're sitting down. Obviously, the main advantage of the M50 is that it has the external mic jack, but you know what? I'm gonna actually disconnect the mic really fast to see what it sounds like without the mic. So this is the Canon M50, like with the onboard mic without an external mic jack, and obviously the G7X Mark II does not have an external mic jack, so this is how it sounds like normally. I don't know if there's a key difference until I edit it. There probably should be, so let me put the mic back on. Something else that I kind of noticed on the displays is that on the Canon M50, my color looks a little bit more natural. The surrounding looks more natural. In the Canon G7X Mark II, it looks a little bit overexposed. But yeah, this is exactly how a sit-down video looks on the Canon M50 and on the Canon G7X Mark II. Personally, me, when it comes to sit-down videos, I prefer the Canon M50 mainly because of the external mic jack. Yes, the Canon G7X Mark II is still really good for sit-down videos, but it just doesn't have the good audio because it's lacking a mic jack. On top of that, I think that the video quality is a little bit better on the Canon M50, and when you're doing a sit-down video and all the focus is on you, Video quality is really important, which is why I think that for sit-down videos, the Canon M50 is the way to go. So we looked at sit-down videos, lifestyle videos, but now the next category that we're gonna be looking at is vlogging. So this is a vlogging comparison test. It's really funny because like on my right hand, I have the M50, and then on my left, I have the G7X Mark II. So it's kind of like the way I'm holding is just like really funny for people watching me right now. Both of these right now are being shot in 1080. Like I said, they're both pretty lightweight, which is funny because since I'm holding both, I expected it to be kind of heavy, but it's not that heavy. Now, something that maybe you should start picking up is the audio difference. It should sound better on the M50 because I do have the external mic plugged in. And if it doesn't sound better, then I guess I lied to you earlier about the M50 and its audio capabilities. Hopefully you guys notice the lens different now. I swapped out my lens for an 11-22. Whenever I am vlogging, I always use my wide angle. Here you can really see that picture difference between both of the cameras. Obviously with the M50, you're just gonna see much more of my surrounding, which is really cool and really convenient for when you're vlogging. So even though it's a fixed lens on the G7X Mark II, something really cool that it has is like built-in ND filter, which is awesome because you don't have to spend money on one, and it gets really cool shots, especially when it's really sunny, just like it is right now. Now the last thing that I really want to try, because I've never vlogged like this before, is that I'm gonna put the 4K on the M50. Even with a wide angle lens, the 4K is really cropped. It says that it's like autofocusing me, like maybe I lied, but I read online that the autofocus is like not good when you're filming 4K. But I really don't like 4K. I never use it, but this is just so like you guys can see how it looks on a wide angle lens. I'm gonna switch it now to the standard kit lens and you guys can also see how it looks. So right now we are on the standard kit lens at 4K. As you can see, it does not look so good. Like my face just covers up the whole screen. But on the G7X Mark II, it looks really good. The day looks really beautiful. I have like kind of a blur going on, which looks really cool. Now, something that's going on right now, it's kind of good that I caught it, is that sometimes on the G7X Mark II, it takes really long to autofocus. But that barely happens. It mainly happens when you just turn the camera on and you're like filming at a new location. But yeah, this is the ultimate vlogging test on the Canon G7X Mark II versus the Canon M50. So let's get some B-roll shots and then I'm gonna show you guys some night vlogging. Alright, so it's nighttime. I am back here in my backyard. I got some low light right here going on, so I look a little bit brighter. But I'm actually going to take a walk and go all the way to the dark where there is actually no light at all. So I don't know, you guys tell me like which one has better low light capabilities. I can't really see much through the screen right now. Actually, if I take a better look at the screen, the Canon M50 has a much better low light capability. But like the focus comes like on and off. Let me go back into like the low light. But yeah, hopefully you get a better idea of what these two cameras look like at night. I've used both of these cameras for vlogging and both of them have been great. Obviously, they both have their pros and cons. I would say that one of the biggest pros that the G7X Mark II has over the M50 is that it's just super portable and you can take it anywhere. Something that I really missed when I started vlogging with the Canon M50 was just being able to be so versatile with my camera. Vlog, take my camera out, and then put it back in my pocket without any issues. But one of the main benefits about the M50, which is why I decided to like switch from the G7X to the M50 for vlogging, is that the image quality is better and it also has an external mic jack. The more I vlogged, the more I realized the importance of audio, and I just needed that external mic jack, and the M50 was just like the perfect camera for me. And yes, even though it is not that compact as a G7X Mark II, it is still really light for a mirrorless camera. It's super easy to carry and it's super fun to vlog with it. And like I mentioned, having many lenses is really fun, and I love using a wide lens when I'm vlogging because it just captures my whole surrounding, which is what vlogging is all about. My overall take on which one you should buy for vlogging is that if you're a beginner, you are just starting out, get this camera. It will not disappoint you. But if you're more advanced, you want better quality, better audio, then go for the M50. So the last category that we're gonna be taking a look at is cinematic videos. Which one of these cameras is better to shoot cinematic video and that amazing B-roll that you dream of? Now the only reason that I say the M50 beats the G7X Mark II on this one is because the M50 has adjustable lenses. If you find the right lens, you mix it with this digital stabilization, depending on what work you're trying to do, you might not even need a gimbal. Now, even though I chose the Canon M50 for cinematic videos, that does not downplay the Canon G7X Mark II at all. Like I said earlier, if you're just getting started, this is still a really good camera, and for its size, it delivers amazing video quality. Nowadays with cameras, you really don't need a big camera or anything. You could use a point and shoot and get away with an amazing shot. Now my final verdict is kind of mixed, because I think you should buy whichever one suits your needs. If you're looking for something small, something really compact, something you can take with you anywhere, something that you're not gonna have to worry about its size, then you should definitely get the Canon G7X Mark II. Nowadays, even though the M50 is my go-to vlogging camera, I still use the Canon G7X Mark II when I just don't want to bring the M50 because it's too heavy or too bulky, it doesn't fit in my pocket. Especially if you're just starting to vlog, starting to get comfortable in front of the camera, I think that the G7X Mark II is the one for you. But on the other side, if you're trying to upgrade your game, if you've been vlogging for a while and you just want to have something better, then the M50 is the way to go. Even though it's not that compact like the G7X Mark II, it is still really light, easy to carry, it won't bother your arm, it won't cause any fatigue. This camera pretty much has it all. It shoots amazing video, it has an external mic jack, which means really smooth audio, it shoots amazing B-roll, making it an amazing camera overall. So now that you know about both of these cameras, which one are you gonna buy? Leave it down in the comment section below. Guys, that is it for me. Hopefully you made the right purchase. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with my weekly uploads. That is it for me here in Miami, but always remember to stay hydrated.